Hey Baz, what are some things that you should never say in a job interview? Well, if you're someone who is applying for work, good job, that's fantastic. All right, here are some easy ones to avoid that could stop you from getting a job that you really want. First thing, when you're looking at an owner or a manager of a business, what are the things that they don't want in a team? Well, something they don't want in a team is a cancer, someone who is negative and brings others around them down. So one of the worst things that you can do in an interview is speak poorly of your previous employment, of your previous situation, even if it was a terrible time. Because normally, especially if you're someone who's very loyal and prides yourself in that, you'll stick around way longer than you meant to, and you'll generally get a narrative going of how they're actually the bad guy. And that can really cause a lot of anger and frustration. Make sure you keep that to yourself. Only speak highly. It's the same as like the guy who's all of his exes are crazy. You know, it's like at some point it's like, maybe you're the problem. Really make sure when you're in an interview, even if someone baits you to say something you didn't like about your previous employment, try and take accountability instead. So that's a really good one. Don't speak ill of previous employment or of previous management. Big one there. Next one. Never, ever, ever in an interview talk about anything that could make them think you're going to sue them. So if you talk about how you were underpaid or how overtime was underpaid or how, there was a culture that was really misogynistic at your previous workplace or whatever it might be, people don't want to get sued. It's one of the things that you don't understand as an employee. There is, as a business owner or as a high-level manager, there is a target on your back at all times. Even drinking around staff, you can say the wrong thing, can get misinterpreted. It's a very scary concept, and it's all boo-hoo, Mr. Rich business owner, but it is still a fear that they have. Don't put yourself in their shoes, put them in their shoes and try and figure out what it's like. And so anything that could tip them off to think that you might be a potential lawsuit, if they're judging between two people who they like, they're going to pick the safer choice. So that's a big one as well. Next thing, in an interview, sometimes they'll ask you questions like, why did you want to apply with us? Or, what makes you want to get into this job? Or what are you looking for yourself at the moment? Don't say something boring and bland. They don't want to know. Companies don't want to know that you've applied for 50, other jobs and you're just waiting to hear back from whoever, right? You don't want to be a job slut, right? Where it's like you'll just take whatever you can get. That doesn't make you valuable. That makes you yucky. So when they ask you, what you're looking for, you want to actually be specific. Don't just say, I want a job or I want full-time employment or just something stable. It's like, why would they hire somebody who's just looking for a job? They want someone with passion who is going to excel in the role. So if you're, applying for something in advertising, so why do you want to be in this? What are you looking for? It's like, I really want to get into advertising. I love the creativity of it. I really, I see myself being a creative director one day, and I really like to add value to a team like this and learn a lot along the way. I'm instantaneously way more likely to hire that person than the person that just goes full-time hours. My last job was casual and it wasn't enough money. I want full-time hours. Don't be boring when they ask you what you're looking for or why you want to work for that company. Don't be a job slut. Be someone who can add value. Last thing to avoid in an interview is important. Sometimes they'll ask you, especially if it's something for like sales or something people focused, even retail, they'll ask you why they should pick you over other candidates, or they'll ask you to talk about your strengths, tell them what you're good at. A lot of the times they don't actually care. They don't care what the actual answer you have is. They're looking to see how confidently you can speak about yourself. And so even if you're someone who goes, I'm not egotistical or whatever, you still need to be able to talk about your strengths or the reasons that you should get the job with confidence and certainty. So when they say, why would we want to select you over the other candidates? I'll say, I'll outlearn them and I'll outwork them. I really like learning. I'm a very coachable person. I'm a great member of the team. I like to bring the vibes up. I like to make everyone around me perform better. And I'm very, very goal focused. So I like pushing towards things. That's a great answer. And notice, it's not so much what I said, it's the certainty with which I said it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be things that would make you good in sales. It could be in any role. It's like, okay, why would we want to pick you? Or can you talk a little bit about your strengths? It's like, I'm a really good team player. I like adding value to it. Be honest. Talk about the things you're good at, but just say it with certainty. If you're someone who's really diligent, say, look, I don't like leaving things unfinished. I'm very organized. I like getting things done. that's a reason they would want to pick you. And if it's for the right role, Merry Christmas. So those are my top things not to say in an interview, because you don't want to put yourself in their shoes. You want to put them in their shoes and figure out what they're thinking and what they want. That is how you get the job of your dreams. If you have any other questions, drop them in the comments. And as always, if you can like, subscribe, share, whatever, that'd be dope. Happy hunting. Have a great day.